Welcome back to Love by Design. I am Joan, your guide on this journey to aligned love. So today we're going to be going a little bit deeper into the love gates, which we've been on a series for a few weeks now, probably even get into a few months, but we're going to keep going. We're almost at the end. So when we started, we touched on one of the transcendent love gates, and that was gate 10. And the unique thing about gate 10 is that it's both transcendent and mundane expressions. So that gate 10 was all about loving, being alive in the world. And if you have a gate 10, you will know exactly what that means. Today, we're exploring gate 25. This is a place for loving, which is purely transcendent, not like the gate 10. So this gate lives in the vessel of love, your G center, and it only knows how to love universally. There's no mundane version here. This is universal love in its purest form. This is the gate of the priest, the priestess, the spiritual teacher, the healer. And here's what makes it both beautiful and challenging. So if it had a voice, it will say something like, I'm incredibly loving, but I don't love you. I love through you to reach something larger. See the difference? So if you've ever been drawn to a spiritual teacher who seemed so loving, only to start catching feelings and then feel so confused when that love didn't feel personal, then this is gate 25 at play. If you've ever been called cold, even though you feel deeply loving, or maybe you're a healer, a teacher, or a guide who struggles with people wanting more personal connections than you can give, then you might have gate 25. So today's episode is going to illuminate one of the most misunderstood forms of love in the human design system. Let's jump in. So like I mentioned, this gate 25 lives in the G center. This is the center of identity, direction, and love. It is universal love, the most, obviously because it's universal, most obviously non-personal love in the entire system. So at its core, gate 25 is about loving the universe. It's about being loving in the universe. So they have to be in a place of lovingness towards everything, but it's not personal. It's not about one particular person. It's just loving the whole. So like I mentioned, this is the energy of the priest who blesses everyone equally, or the priestess who holds a sacred space for everyone, or the spiritual teacher whose love extends to every student without differentiation. This is universal love. So let's talk about the gift side, and then we'll jump into the shadow. So in its gift higher expression, this is one of the most beautiful energies you ever encounter. This is the energy that says everything deserves to be treated with love and kindness. The trees, the dogs, the plants, and people. Everything within the universe. They are the space where loving exists. So some of the gifts of this gate include a natural ability to be loving without needing anything back. Beautiful. Creating sacred spaces where others feel seen and held. Beautiful. Radiating unconditional positive regard. So beautiful. Initiating loving consciousness in groups and communities. Being a priest, a priestess that elevates everyone. So when you're in the presence of someone with gate 25, you feel it. You feel it. You feel loved. You feel held. You feel seen. Even if you've just met them, right? There's just something really profoundly comforting about their energy. But again, the crucial part is that loving isn't for you specifically. You're experiencing their universal loving. And even though it feels personal, it's not. Okay? It's not. So let's move on to the shadow side of things. And this is where this gate really becomes deeply misunderstood. So the moment you try to make their love personal, the moment you expect them to choose you over others, to give you that special attention, to be your person, something shifts. And it's not a conscious decision. It's just automatic. Something just shifts. The loving stops. And when the loving stops being loving, it becomes really, really cold. It's the coldest, most frightening thing you ever met. It's like the vast universe they love. So it's deep, it's dark and it's cold. One moment you're basking in their warmth, the next moment you're facing the ice. So this isn't cruelty. This is just their protection. This is the gate saying you're trying to make something personal that was never meant to be personal. And now I have to protect the universal love that I carry. The shadow really creates a lot of confusion because people start imagining, they're like, but they seemed so loving. I could feel their warmth. I could feel that they loved me, right? But now it's like, they don't care about me. Was it all fake? Were they just pretending? It's not fake. It's just not personal. And that is the profound difference for those who carry this gate. So this gate is called the gate of the priest and priestess, not necessarily as a religious concept, but just as a way of being. So the energy that holds that sacred space for everything and everyone. So they're just loving to everyone. They just radiate this compassion, this care. Naturally, it just exudes out of them. And it's so beautiful because their love doesn't depend on who they're with, who you are, where they are. It's just unconditional. It's just universal. So if you think about being in the presence of someone who makes you feel held, makes you feel seen, makes you feel held, makes you feel valued simply because you exist, you know that that is beautiful. You know that that is unconditional. And I'm telling you right now, that is gate 25. So why does this gate exist? What's the point of love that isn't personal? Remember, there's the transcendent and then there's the mundane. So the transcendent love serves a completely different function than the mundane love. Mundane love creates bonds between individuals. It's what builds relationships, families, partnerships, intimate connections. But this transcendent love creates the field in which all that personal love can exist. It initiates the loving consciousness. It reminds us that we're all part of something bigger. So without gate 25, we'll be trapped in the smallness of personal relationships. We'll be selfish. We'll never experience this vastness of universal love. We'll never remember that love exists beyond our individual connections. So gate 25, or people who carry the gate 25, are here to remind us all that love is bigger than any one of us, is bigger than any one singular relationship. Love is the ground of being itself. So powerful. So what happens if you have this gate? Well, if you have this gate, you need to accept that your loving is universal, not personal. And remember, a person can have 1 gate, 2 gates, 3 gates, 4 gates. I've seen even 6 gates. So you might not only have 25, but that might just be one of your gates. So if you have the gate, accept that your loving is universal, not personal. You can stop feeling guilty for not being able to give people that special attention that they crave. You should recognize your role as the person who holds space, the initiator of love. You should definitely be clear with people about the nature of your loving, because again, when people experience lovingness, they just think, oh my God, he or she must love me. Also, don't try to force personal connections when it's not your design. I know that might sound unfair because everybody craves that personal one. But if you only have gate 25, then you need to look more at your design and find what your purpose is for you in this experience. So that's if you have gate 25. So what happens if now you're drawn to someone with gate 25? Just enjoy the loving without expecting it to be personal. Don't try to make them choose you over others. Appreciate the gift of unconditional love, positive love that they give. Recognize that they're not being cold. They're just protecting themselves when you try to make it personal. Find your personal love elsewhere. And I haven't experienced this personally, but I know a lot of people who are falling in love with the spiritual teachers, the spiritual leaders. And with this gate, it just totally makes sense. I can see why. Because they feel this deep universal lovingness and think it's personal, but it's not. So transcendent love doesn't need to be personal to feel good. It can give you that sense of joy. It can give you that sense of peace, that sense of being seen, being heard, without it being something that is just for you and you alone. It's for everybody. So let's all enjoy those that have the gate 25. So do you have the gate 25? Or do you suspect that you have met somebody in your past, or maybe someone in your present who might have this gate 25, right? So if you have the gate 25, first of all, just stop apologizing. Just stop it for not being able to love people the way that they need to be loved. No. Your gift is universal love. Let's just own it. And if you found yourself being attracted to someone with gate 25, I want you to stop expecting more out of it and just enjoy the universal love. So if you have the gate 25, or you know somebody with a gate 25, I would love to hear from you. I will want to hear about your past experiences, how that has shown up, how you've navigated it, what happens if you're in a relationship with someone who gets 25 right now, how you're navigating it and how that's coming up in your relationship, and what some of the challenges and what are some of the gifts too, because remember, there's always a gift and a shadow side of everything. So, that was a beautiful one. I really love the transcendent love gates. So remember that your gates are your gifts. Your love gates are your gifts. They are how you express love, whether as transcendent, so for the world, or mundane, person to person. And I want you to focus on shifting from the shadow to the gift side of things, not trying to change it, not trying to say, why don't I have this other love gate? No, everything that you have is exactly what you need. God, universe, source never makes a mistake. You are given the exact traits and tools that you need for this experience. So I want you to embrace it in its fullness, and I want you to start living your design daily. Thank you for being here with me. That was a powerful, beautiful one, gate 25. Next week, we're still continuing on the love gates. We're almost done. Stick with me. And remember, keep living your design. Keep dating by design and not by default. Until next week, see ya.